Hello, my name is Mesoma Umejano, and I am going to be walking you through an overview of the global debt analysis. So this dashboard presents an analysis focusing on the debt levels, the volatility, the country performance, debt categories, and global trends over time. Starting with the KPI indicator over here, we see that the total sum of global debt is approximately 1.26 million based on aggregated country debt ratios. And then we can see that the debt volatility is 50.40, indicating moderate fluctuations in the global debt levels over time. And then we can see here that Cyprus is the country with the highest debt level in this data set. We can see that with this, using our slicers, we can see that Cyprus is the highest country with 141.1%, the highest so far in this data set. And the most recent year of analysis is 2022. These metrics give us a high-level view of the global debt pressure and recent trends. Okay, coming over to the first card over here, we can see that this stack bar chart shows the average debt percentage by year, but by the top 10 year and debt category, and across the years, government, central, household and non-financial corporate debts all contribute consistently to total debt. While the composition remains relatively stable, total debt level shows minor fluctuations over time rather than sharp swings. This suggests that the global debt growth is steady and structural, not driven by a single debt category. Moving on to the pie chart, moving on to the donut chart, this chart breaks down average debt by category, and we can see here that this debt category, the and private debt and the non-financial corporate debt make up the largest shares, followed by the general government debt, the the central government debt, and then the household debt. This indicates that the governmental sector borrowing remains the dominant driver of the global debt. Moving on to the line chart, it shows the global debt trend over time, showing us the top 10 years that we have. So the debt level rises gradually from earlier years and peaked up sharply at around 2020 and then declined at around 2021 and then 2022. This spike over here aligns with the global economic disruption, after which debt level begins to stabilize for a little bit. Then this card over here is a bar chart which ranks country by average debt percentage, meaning that average debt percentage. And from the KPI over here, we can see that Cyprus is the country with the highest rank, being confirmed by these bar chart ranks over here. We can see that Cyprus is the highest, with average debt level of 141.05, which is followed by Hong Kong and the Netherlands, China, and Norway. This highlights that both developed economics and financial hubs carry high debt burden, not just emerging markets. Moving on to the gauge over here, the gauge shows the latest global debt level at approximately 51.6%. This means that on average, countries carry debts equivalent to about half of their economic output, indicating moderate but significant debt exposure globally. And then over to the map chart, it gives us a visualization of the debt distribution by country and by debt category. And we can see that higher concentrations are visible in Europe, North America, and parts of Asia as well, reflecting regions with larger economics and more developed financial systems. This chart confirms that high debt is more closely linked to economic scale and financial maturity than geography alone. In conclusion, this analysis shows that the global debt remains structurally high, driven largely by government borrowing, with a noticeable peak around 2020, followed by a slight stabilization, while some countries like Cyprus carry exceptionally high um, high debt levels. The broader trend indicates manageable but persistent global debt exposure. Thank you.